Hello, welcome to a new video on my channel RoboCircuits, where we deal with a little bit of robotics and a little bit of circuits. In today's video, we're gonna look at the mesh networking in the ESP32 and ESP8266 development boards. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you may have seen a lot of videos based on the ESP8266, but most of them are IoT based. But Wi-Fi is not only meant for the internet. It can be used to communicate between each other also. For establishing a connection between two ESP boards or in order to send or receive data, there are a lot of methods like server client configuration, web server, ESP now that is only meant for the ESP32 and mesh networking. Today we are going to talk about the mesh networking. It is a wireless communication network with nodes organized in a mesh topology. So what actually a mesh topology looks like? A mesh topology looks like this. In this configuration, each device is connected to a nearly device. And each device in the mesh topology is known as a node. This network is self-forming, means it forms automatically whenever the nodes are placed. It doesn't depend on how the nodes are placed or where the nodes are placed. It just connects automatically. Then it is self-healing also. If one of the node goes down or is turned off, the other nodes will not be affected. So enough description about it. Let's see how to do it. So first of all, you have to install Painless Mesh library from the link given in the description of this video. Once you install this, go to examples, Painless Mesh and start the basic one. Here, we have to define a unique SSID and password for the mesh. This is not the Wi-Fi credential as we use in the IoT. These are the credentials which the mesh networking will be based on. All the nodes with the same credential will automatically communicate with each other. So for making a mesh, credential in all the nodes must be same. Then there are two functions. I am taking it very simple. So there are two functions. First one is used for sending data, which is just a function which executes after a particular period of time. And the second one is for receiving data. That function is also known as callback. Means whenever any nodes send a data to that node, then the callback function will run. Now I am uploading the same code on both the device and open the serial monitor. So we can open only one serial monitor on the Arduino. So I am using a software known as PuTTY, P-U-T-T-Y, for accessing the second serial monitor on the same time. You can see both devices are sending data to each other, and even there is a special device ID also. So if we can send data, then we can do a lot of things. Okay, enough talking about the mesh networking. Let's use this concept and make a remote controlled car in which the remote will be based on the ESP32 while the car will be based on the ESP8266. Those two will be communicating using the mesh networking, and let's see what results we get. Here is a small time lapse how the car is made. Ready for it? Let's go. So the build is complete. Let's take a quick look at the car. The car is based on the ESP8266. It has a L298 and motor driver board. Then it has two 150 RPM BO motors. Now let's move to the controller. The controller is based on ESP32. It has a small joystick attached to it. The X and Y pin of the joystick is connected to pin number 31 and 32 respectively. So now the coding part. The very basic working of this car is the ESP32 will scan the joystick and see where the position of the joystick actually is. According to that, it will send the data to the ESP8266. Then the ESP8266 will run the motors. That's very simple, right? Let's move to our computer screen and see what code we have to upload. In the ESP32, we are sending the message at every 1 second. And first of all, we will read the joysticks at what position they actually are. Then we make a JSON format and send that JSON to the ESP8266 over the mesh networking. Now coming over the ESP8266 code, here whenever the message is received, it deserialize it, means we extract the data from the JSON format. Then we will define whether it will have to go left or right or just to stop. Based on that data, it runs the car. That's really simple. I will upload the code on my website and give the link to that in the description of this video. Must check out that. So let's test if this is working or not. It can take a while to connect, but wait for a minute and it will start. So the car works perfectly. So that was it for this video. If you have any different idea using the mesh networking, then you can pin me in the comment section of this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.